Now that we've looked at how a graph transformation changes a single point, let's look at how that graph transformation changes a whole table of points. So we have a set of 5x values that are paired with their corresponding y value for this function f of x. Okay, so we'll call those our y's. Number 17, we're looking for g of x is equal to f of x plus 3. So this will be a vertical shift. And what we're going to do is we're going to make our y value go up by 3 units here. So let's make a note of that. So when x was -2 in the original function f of x, we had y as -4. To get g of x, we need to add 3 to that -4. So that gives us a -1. When x was -1, with f of x, y was 0. G of x, we need to add 3 to this. So we get 0 plus 3 is 3. If we keep going along with that, I'll have a 1, a 4, and a 6 here. All right. Number 18, h of x is equal to f of x minus 5. So this is another vertical shift. Go ahead and pause the video quick and see if you can work those out. All right, so hopefully you gave those a try. H of x is f of x minus 5. So it's still a vertical shift, but now y is going to go down by 5. So in our original function, when x was -2, f of x, or y, was equal to -4. So h of x needs to be 5 less than -4. So that'll give me a -9 here that pairs with x is -2. When x was -1, f of x was 0. To get to h of x, I need to subtract 5 off of that 0. So that'll give me a -5. If we keep going, a -7, a -4, and a -2. Number 19 is going to be a little bit different. This is a horizontal shift. So it says j of x is equal to f of the quantity x minus 1. So x minus 1, that's going to fall in this category here. So we're going to shift right. So x is going to change. We're going to go right by 1 unit. All right, so our original function, x was -2 and y was -4. The y doesn't change in this example, so I put the -4 here, but the new x value that pairs with this y is going to be -2 plus 1. So this will be -1, now goes with -4. Same thing with this next point. When x is -1, y was 0. This f of the quantity x minus 1 says the y stays the same, but the x is going to go up by 1 because we're going right to 1 unit. So this will give me a 0. If I keep going, I get a 1, a 2, and a 3. Okay. Number 20, now we're putting two things together. So we have that shift for x, and then we're shifting y up by 4. So this says x went right 1, which we already figured out, and y is going to go up by 4. So I already figured out that shift to the right up here. So I get to keep these x values I just found a moment ago. And my y values are all going to go up by 4. So that -4, if I add 4, becomes a 0. I get a 4, a 2, a 5, and a 7. So I just added 4 to each of these y values. All right, we have one more, like 19 and 20. So 21, I have p of x is equal to the quantity of f of x plus 2. So x plus 2 means I'm going to go take x and I'm going to go left 2 units. So I want to subtract 2 from each of my x values. So I'd love for you to go ahead and pause the video, try 21 and 22 both. Okay, so hopefully you gave that a try. Let's start by figuring out what these x values are. We know the y values are going to stay the same in number 21. So I'm actually going to copy those down from before. We have -4, 0, -2, 1, and 3. So I just took those off of this f of x here. And then we know that we want x to go left by 2 units. So I want to subtract 2 from each of these x values. So I originally had a -2. If I subtract 2 from that to make my x values go left, I'm going to end up here with a -4. And then -3, -2, -1, and a 0. Okay, so each of those x values shifted over two less than what they were. And then 22, the quantity, so I have f of the quantity x plus 2, so it's got that same shift as before, but now my y value needs to change. So I need to subtract 7 off of those y values. I'll start by writing my x values in since we found those previously. Okay, and then for each of these y values, I'm going to subtract 7. So negative 4 minus 7 gives me a negative 11, a negative 7, a negative 9, a negative 6, and a negative 4.